So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the difference between the Gulfstream G700 and the Bombardier Global 7500. The reason why I'm bringing you this video today is because Gulfstream just recently certified their G700 both in the US and over in Europe. So the 43 plus airplanes that are sitting on the tarmac at the Gulfstream headquarters over in Savannah, Georgia, are now being delivered throughout the US and throughout Europe to the new owners, which is good because more airplanes are coming on the market. Now everyone's going to say, oh, prices are going to come down. No, prices of private jets, it's not coming down. They're kind of sitting where they are, but there's just a bit more availability. Also, there's some of the airplanes on the market were not really in good condition. So it's just going to improve things for those of you that are looking to buy a private jet right now. So your question is probably, should I buy the G700 or should I buy the Global 7500? Well, welcome to BizJet TV. My name is Fabrizio Poli. I'm an aviation advisor and an airline transport pilot and the author of the book, The Quantum Economy. If you don't have a copy of the book, click on the link below and you can get yourself a copy. Lots of information in here on how you use a private jet as a business tool. So let's talk about the differences between these two aircraft. Now, first of all, when you're buying a private jet, the cabin size is really important, in particular if you're going to be spending a lot of hours on each flight like you would do on these larger aircraft which fly longer distance. So range can be kind of important, but between these two aircraft, we're talking about 7,700 nautical mile range on the Global, and on the Gulfstream, it's 7,500 nautical miles. So it's just 200 mile difference in range. The cabin size, the G700 is slightly bigger. And of course, the cabin design is what really is the differentiator. Gulfstream have their way of designing their interiors, and Bombardier have their way. And it really is down to preference. Now, when we look at performance of the aircraft, so landing and takeoff distance, the Global 7500 has a better takeoff and landing distance, so it requires a shorter runway than the Gulfstream. The Gulfstream has a very good cabin. As you can see, it's a bigger cabin, and we've got 5 living areas on the Gulfstream G700 compared to 4 living areas on the Global Express. Price-wise, we're talking 72.8 on the price of a Global 7500 and 75 million on the Gulfstream. So the Gulfstream is slightly pricier. So that's an important consideration. But, above all, I'd say it's down to what you prefer. And it's a bit like cars. I mean, shall I buy a Lamborghini or Ferrari? Shall I buy an Audi, a BMW or a Mercedes? A lot of it is down to personal preference. Now, of course, today, if you knock on Gulfstream's door to buy a G700, you've got a 2 to 3 year wait because they've only just come on the market. So you won't find any pre-owned, even though there are some opportunities that will probably come about in the next few months where someone may decide to sell their G700. On the Global 7500 front, you can find some pre-owned around the $60 million mark. But what I want to emphasize here, and this is really important, if you're looking to buy one of these aircraft and flying long distance or lots of hours on the airplane, the problem you're going to have is the duty time of the crew. Now, depending on which jurisdiction you are flying under, so which registration you have on the airplane, the duty times of the pilots and the flight attendant slightly differs. So it's important to consider this because if you have to, bring along another crew, you've also got to bring food and water and drinks for the other crew members. So you carry 1 or maybe 2 flight attendants, 2, 3, or maybe 4 pilots. So now you've got all those people plus the passengers on your flight. And the problem with these airplanes is that the galleys really cater on a long distance flight for about 6 passengers plus crew. So when you start putting 12 people on one of these airplanes, you start to have a problem with where you're going to put the food and where you're going to put the garbage or the trash, as you call it in the US. So this is something that you have to look into, and a lot of private jet advisors don't talk about this. I'm talking about this. I'm being very upfront with you, because you can buy a Boeing business jet these days, or you can even buy a Boeing 737-700 and then change the interior, and you can do that for about $15 to $20 million. Now, $20 million is a lot less than $70 million for the Global 700, 7500 or the G700. So, but what you're going to get with a Boeing or with an Airbus, the airplanes will have obviously a lot bigger cabin. The galleys of these larger, airliners cater for like 150 to 200 passengers, while these smaller private jets cater for, as I said, about 12 people. So that's a consideration. But what you'll get with the airliners turned into private jet, they fly at a lower level and they fly a lot slower, like 0.8, 0.78 to 0.8 Mach, compared to 0.9 or 0.92, which you get on the G700 and the Global 7500. So that's what you need to consider there, because obviously on a 12-hour journey, if you got 10%, faster on the private jet and you can fly higher, you're above weather, you're above the other traffic, you're going to get shortcuts. You're going to get in on a 12-hour journey, maybe an hour 20 earlier than you would on the Gulfstream G700 or the Global 7500. So these are kind of things you need to consider. I would say when you're comparing the Gulfstream G700 to the Global 7500, they're pretty much the same. A lot will depend on what your preference is. I mean, what airplane do you prefer? This looks nicer than that. I prefer the cabin of this one than the other one. Maybe going and flying in one and the other, doing a demo flight can help, or charter one and then the other. That may help. But, it really is down to, do you prefer the Gulfstream product or the Bombardier product? And everybody has their preferences, just like cars. Do I prefer BMW or Audi or Mercedes or Ferrari, Lamborghini, that kind of thing. So that's really where it is. But, if you're looking to buy pre-owned, then certainly Global 7500, because finding a G700 is difficult. So these are kind of the things that you need to consider when you're going to be buying one of these larger private jets. Don't get lost in, oh gosh, because it may be that a Boeing business jet may be a better solution for you. A lot cheaper, a lot larger cabin. You can carry 15 people very comfortably on one of these flights, and you like flying around in a flying apartment. And so that's also another consideration you have. But anyway, I'm available to do a call with you, because as I say, I can only give general information out here on BizJet TV. You really need to get one-to-one with somebody like myself, and where I will ask you a set of questions to find out more about you, your business, where you intend to go with your business in the future. This is why reading the Quantum Economy before you speak to me is a good idea. Just gives you an understanding of how the private jet is a business tool, and how it can really bring your business into the quantum economy, help you to expand your business a lot quicker. I mean, I met with a client of mine just a few weeks ago in Florida, and his first airplane is a Cirrus SR-22. So it's one of these small propeller aircraft that carries 5 people, and he's been flying this thing around for just over a year now, and he has tripled his business as a result of using this small airplane. So imagine if you can triple your business with a small propeller airplane, what can you do with a Gulfstream G700 or a Global 7500? So anyway, that's just food for thought there for you. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of BizJet TV. Check out this other video I did recently about Bitcoin and how the Bitcoiners are going to be changing the market this year, as we've just had the halving of Bitcoin, and how they're just waiting for Bitcoin to go over $100,000, and then we're going to be seeing a lot of these Bitcoiners. And if you're one of the Bitcoiners, you need to get on a call with me so we can make the right choice airplane-wise for you. And that's all from Fabrizio Poli here on BizJet TV, and I'll see you on the next one.